Cheeky, but how much do you earn? That is cheeky. Well,
I fill my life, yeah, I share too much. A Norwich girl with 2 sausage dogs. A whole lot of chaos, but I try to live well. Just figuring life out with stories to tell. Welcome to my weekly vlog.
Alexa, turn the bedroom on. Thank you.
good morning. Hello. All right, darling. Come on then. I thought I would take you with me on a day in the life when I have a few things to do and to film. Well, I've actually got a branded video to film today, so I thought it might be quite interesting to sort of film it, talk to you about it and how it usually happens. A YouTube video to film today for my channel. Normally in the morning I'll go to boot camp, boxing or the gym depending on what day it is, and then I'll come home and get my shit together and start work there. But I've started doing personal training every other week again. I've got PT this afternoon, like at 4 o'clock. I do, annoyingly, well, it's not annoying, I do have a 10:30 a.m. physiotherapy appointment. Physiotherapy, did I just get slowed down then? Physiotherapy appointment for my hip. I've got a bad hip. Anyway, so I'm gonna go see the physio, so that's a new thing. So I'm just gonna have my coffee and cuddle my dog. Then I'm gonna go and film the sponsored thing. Look at you and your mystical eye. By the way, this is the curse of the cow's lick. At the beginning of the week, I was going, I don't know who I am anymore. I'm boring. All I do is go to the gym and go to the beach and go outside. No one's gonna find me interesting. I don't know what I wanna film and make my content about and like, yada, 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 yada. I'm in this identity crisis of my position online because I've changed so much personally, and the stuff that perhaps I used to film lots about, like loads and loads of fashion and makeup stuff, which I still love, like clothes and makeup. But my thing is, if I want to enjoy what I do for a living, I have to make it reflect who I am as a person, right, in terms of my content. And the thing is, I don't want to be in a position where I'm living to post. I want to post what I live. When I just live my life and I'm being myself and I put it online and stuff, like I don't see anything so special about it, and I never have done. I've always struggled with this because it's just who I am, and I've lived with myself for so long that I just don't get why people get so like wow about it. But obviously from the comments and like the feedback that I get from viewers is so lovely. It's just like, you've helped me with this, you've made me feel more confident, like XYZ, which is so nice. But it's not computing that what I'm doing is, you know, helpful and great for people and all that, like, you know what I mean? So I always feel like I have to do more to feel like I'm providing a service, if that makes sense, or I need to do more to feel like some sort of, to feel fulfillment and to feel like I'm doing something. The stuff that I feel the best about or excited about is when I make things or I'm just filming what I'm up to. I don't really think about it or curate it too much. Or like on the opposite side of the spectrum, I love being super artistic with when I make stuff and like making beautiful things and having loads of fun with making stuff, you know? What do I actually want to bring to the table? And I think actually I've known it the whole time. Authenticity is the best way for success, longevity, and having a trusted community around you. I had this like meltdown, like, who am I? My God, I'm not interesting anymore. All the people that followed me before are gonna think, who's this boring bitch that just hangs out in the gym and fucking goes and watches the sunrise every day. We've seen it, you've done it. You go to the same bakery, you do the same things every single day. But you know what? I like my life. I like my little life. I like the little things that I do, and I just want to promote like romanticizing your life, doing that make you happy, not based off what you think you should be doing because you're concerned about opinions, the right or wrong reason, the like external influence. Anyway. But I know I'm not boring, because I know I'm not boring. I had this meltdown, and then out of nowhere, I just relentlessly started filming shit and made loads of content. I didn't even plan it. It just came, and I just was like, that's a great idea. So it's been a bit of a, it was like, whee, this week. Okay, so I've just set up the camera and my studio light. I have a ring light and a studio light, but I much prefer this one because it fills the whole room, whereas the ring light is better for kind of close-up stuff. It's not my favourite thing to use, especially when I want it to look really, I don't know, just really professional, I suppose. In the next couple of months, going to be turning this into the new dressing room / better space for filming outfits and makeup stuff in here for when I want to do it. My current dressing room, which looks like this, is going to be the new spare room because I can fit a sofa bed in here and it will fold out. The light in here isn't that nice because the sun is north facing, so it's always dark. I don't like the layout. I don't like there's not like a plain wall to stand up against, and also it's smaller and I spend most of my time in here. Why would I do that? It's my house. It's my house. No one uses this room other than me to film in, so I might as well make this my main dressing room / filmy talky bits, you know what I mean? These are my swatches for the paint. I think I'm going to go with this pink. Pick one of these, that one or that one, and then paint the wardrobes this colour. I did get a green as well, potentially, for a wardrobe. And I'm also going to paint the ceiling the same colour as well. Just paint everywhere. Sun's coming up. That's it. Also, let's put it out the window. I can look out at my garden. I'll be able to look out at my garden, which looks all sad at the moment. And the sun comes up there and it shines over all here all day. So it will feel like a much nicer room to be in. I need to wash my hair, put my makeup on, put something sexy on, film this ad. I better get the product ready actually before. So today we are working with Cloud9, which makes hair tools. We have got a hairdryer and a straightener in here. Okay, I do think this is a vast improvement from this morning. Right, we're done. I need a dash. I've just been clicked, massaged, rolled around, legs everywhere. Makeup went absolutely everywhere and my hair's a mess now, which is why I'm glad I got the videoing out of the way. But I need to finish up on just some like images and then obviously edit the work to send across. He said I was hypermobile and he was like in my spine. And I showed him some videos of like that I took doing things like squats and deadlift, and he was just pointing out, okay, you see what you're doing there, so I need to work on my core stability to help with my lower back pain, which is basically the issue I'm having at the moment. And then obviously I've got a deep joint, so that's causing some kind of instability and sort of like movement, leg moving more, imbalance, all of that. All makes sense. I just realised I want to get a bunch of roses because it'd be nice to do some photos of the hair tools with some roses because it's Valentine's Day themed. Yes. I got 2 reds and a white. Lush. Right, I'm going to shoot on the table because the sun LED is coming through nicely. So I'm just going to move my shit out of the way. Primark blanket. I'm going to put the disco ball down there as well. Full effect of it. Go there. Wow, that looks so cool. You can't beat sunlight, can you? Real sunlight. Let's sort this out. Okay, so I'm going to start off with editing the photos. I'm using Lightroom to edit these, and I've got my own preset that I made for all of my edits. So they all look, you know, they all look the same, but I do tend to change them for each thing that I'm doing. I just copy and paste it on to all of them. Makes it pop a bit more, you know. Okay, this is going to be a bit harder, this one, because of all the sunlight. Shadows, bring them up a bit. Exposure up a bit. We need 16:9 aspect ratio because this is for Instagram stories. So we crop it there, bring it across. Then what I've got here is I've got space up here to put text. So if I'm like, this is the new range from blah, 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 there's a space there for it. Just look a bit more editorial once you've given them a bit of like punch, you know? I'm gonna edit this and I'm gonna do a voiceover based on the kind of messaging that they want. So I normally just like write out a script, a loose script, and then I record my voice. I want to go so I've got their brand messaging, but I also want to tie my own from like my personal, because I think it's important to, when it comes to sponsorships, like when it's integrated into, when you're trying to show a product that you like and you see the importance of it, but like where's my personal spin on it? So for me, because it's been winter and it's been grey and like just a bit dreary outside, I've been wearing lots of cozy clothes, or I've been at the gym a lot, so I've not really made myself feel like sexy or like hot, you know? I've not really made myself up, and I've been feeling a bit frumpy recently, so I just kind of want to go along the lines of something like that, like also because it's Valentine's Day, I want to be like, ooh, I want to put a fire back in my self-confidence, but without burning my hair off. That kind of thing. Wide iron straighteners that have 11 heat settings on this light up touch display. After spending the colder months in joggers and minimal makeup, creating a look like this was definitely overdue. Oh, I'm so happy with this. I hope they like it. We've got to send this across, darling. I'm gonna send this across to my manager now, okay? Quick change into my gym gear because I'm gonna be filming my workout routine for YouTube. I'm gonna put everything back before I start filming again. Bye, Disco Inferno. I'm gonna shoot it upstairs because the tripod and the light's already set up there, so I'll just might as well. And it's a plain background, which is quite nice sometimes. I just remembered I have a quick amendment to do on another branded video. They obviously check it over and they go, yeah, no, that's poo-poo, or that's poo-poo. Okay, change this, da-da-da-da-da. And I just need to check what it was that I needed to change. And it's just like a 2-minute job. So I'm just gonna quickly do that before I go up and film, because then I know it's done. My paella ready meal is done. It's absolutely scorching hot. I always put it in a nice bowl, just so it just feels nicer. I don't always do a ready meal. That's just because I've got a lot to do today. And I'm in and out, so I need, it's just convenient in it. All right, let's do this. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. We are connected to the microphone. We're just doing thumbnails. This is always awkward. Okay, right. Doing a wall sit to get into frame. Wider?
Yeah, so you can get that
Depth, okay. 2 reps, then 10, okay. And then 10. Here we go.
Here we go. 1, back on 2, I'm going to go for 4 repetitions now, okay?
Okay, 1.
So now we're going to go 15 seconds.
Okay.
1.
See what you mean, why you never did this again. Oh my God. I feel that was horrible. Doggy, you need to put your coat on because it's a bit chilly out there now. What's wrong? What's wrong? What are you crying for? And then you got your magic spaceship hat on. Helmet. There you go. There. Oh, come on. Come here. Come here. Ooh, flashy dog. Diddles. These glow-in-the-dark necklaces, by the way, or collars, were from B&M. And they're like on a long stick, so you can cut them to size for your dog. These two are about the same size in terms of neck, so... But it's just the bit on the front with the button on, you just recharge. I've not used it that much, to be honest, because we don't really go out at night time, but we haven't managed to get out today. So we're going to go now. I'm going to do my smoked... I don't know what fish, a smoked fish. This is a bag of pre-made, pre-prepared, chopped med veg that I did the other week. There's loads in this one, jeez. So I'm not going to eat all that. I'll put it in, I'll cook it though and I can have it for lunch, with lunch or something tomorrow. That's doing that. I'm going to edit my YouTube video now. So I just need to import that footage into Final Cut. It'll be pretty easy to do because it's like a talky one, so it's just a straightforward edit, and then I'll drop in the like cutaways to like the exercises that I'm talking about in the gym video. My fucking fringe at the minute, man. I got it trimmed and it looked amazing when she trimmed it. It's been silly. I don't like my YouTube video. I know it sounds really like nothing at all. Like not a problem. This happens so many times. I go back to edit it. My eyes look weird. I don't like it. I'm going to do it again. Do you know what? I've had no wind down tonight. It's getting late and I've just been editing all evening. And the irony of that is that I just uploaded to Instagram a wind down routine video. What I normally do on a night time, which I've not done tonight, which is naughty of me. I'm going to go and take my tablets, though, my magnesium and my sleepy tablet, but I've not had my mini magnum, and I've not had my cup of tea, and I've not sat on the sofa and watched TV and stuff and chill. But I've just really enjoying myself. So I don't feel disgruntled that I'm doing this till later, you know? I'm just like, yes, go with the flow. Anyway, I will say goodnight now, and I will see you in the morning for boot camp. Good morning. I am in my studio, first thing after boot camp, to pack a couple of orders that came through. I've been quite naughty and not really been promoting the shop that much just yet, but the orders trickle through, so I just keep on top of it. I'll just get this done. Ooh, a jumper. Laura, thank you so much. So I've got the oven people here. They said that they were going to be here between 9 and 11. And that means that I can't do anything until they're gone. So in my head, I can't really start a task like filming until they've been. Because what if I start filming and they just turn up? Do you know what I'm saying? I was originally going to do all my work in the morning, power through it, and then do the housework in the afternoon. But that makes no sense, does it? I can clean whilst they're here. So I'm just doing the housework now. Also, I'm still in my gym gear, so do you know what I mean? It's comfortable. I'm going to get the housework done whilst they're here, because it's not an easy job actually, fitting an oven. So, oh my god, it's new oven day. So, I'm just gonna crack on with the housework. I'm tired of me, I'm tired of you. So I am ready and I'm just about to shoot my YouTube video again that I shot yesterday, but I didn't really like. I'm thinking this angle, bit of both, bit of wall, bit of wallpaper. Round 2. Done. Oh, that's done. And also, I can finish cleaning downstairs because the men are gone. So, I'm just cleaning. I've set up the new oven, cleaned the kitchen. I'm just hoovering. I need to put away my stuff though for the weekend. It's the weekend, it's Friday, isn't it? So I thought I'd just show you what I have in terms of equipment before I put it away. This is my light. Now, you may already know that I have my own studio that I work from in the city where the shop stuff is based, and I have the capabilities of shooting there. We've got like lights there and coloramas, like backdrops and stuff. But 2 reasons why I shoot at home. 1, I got out of the habit of going there regularly, which is something that I'm going to work on doing more this year, because I love going. It's just the thought of going. I've got into that horrible mindset of the thought of going, can't be bothered, but that when I'm there, it's amazing. Whereas when I was going all the time, it was just part of the routine. And also my friends Andy and Grace, who I rent it with, then they're not there. Basically, long story short, we went in on an office together in 2023 with the intention of it being like we all work in their kind of space, have a photography space for all of our works that we do, because they all do different things. Just as about a month into us having the place, Andrew got an amazing contract which sent him away all around the world, and then Grace unfortunately got really unwell. She's doing really well now, but is slowly. Well, they still want the space. Like, they store a lot of stuff there as well. But we're gonna figure out what to do with it for the rest of the year. And Grace said she's gonna probably start coming back in again, which is great news. But then, yeah, sorry. And then the other reason why I like to shoot at home is because personally, like, don't get me wrong, I love the high-end look. I love the editorial look when you shoot in a studio. It looks really professional, it looks really cool. You can do a lot of cool stylized stuff in there, especially with all the different colour backdrops. It's very clean, it's very cool. But I do feel like, because predominantly most of the stuff that I create is either vlogging or homey stuff, lifestyle-y stuff, it makes more sense for me to be at home, as much as I don't like being at home all the time. The more I do, the more stuff and the more busy I get with my shop. When I, like, obviously the more effort I put into it, the more busy I am with it. So I will be there longer, but I am going to start, especially as it gets warmer and I can walk in, I am going to start going in more, definitely. Also, I feel like in terms of content generally, and from a really black and white perspective, I feel like most people like watching people at home because it's relatable. People like to see people at home. People like to see them in their environment. People don't always want highly edited or high quality, that sort of thing. People like the stuff that's been shot on the iPhone, that's off the cuff, that's just like unpolished, that's raw. Do you know what I mean? Like, the whole point of Instagrammers, or the whole point of YouTubers and content creators initially was like spying into somebody else's life that was just like you and you had similar interests. You know what I mean? It wasn't, because it was like you had your YouTube and then you have TV, and that's the differentiation. So when YouTubers' quality of content starts looking like TV, as much as it's really great and it's really talented and it's really awesome, they then lose that kind of, I don't know, not suppose necessarily just the word relatability, but that kind of, like, it puts them on a different plane, it puts the content somewhere else, whereas sometimes you just want to be on a level with someone and you want to watch them just doing the things in the same kind of way that you do. Anyway, tangent. I use this light at home because obviously it's winter, so it gets dark at like 4, 5 in the UK at the moment. So I don't want to restrict when I can film. I don't want to be like, oh, it's 4 o'clock, I have to stop now. So I got this recently, and it's amazing. So we have this is just a studio light. So this just looks like this, like that. And it's got some controls on the back. You've got your brightness and you've got your temperature. And there's a load of other stuff on there that I've not even bothered to check out because I don't really need it for that. This, which is a small softbox, and because it's a ball, it disperses the light all around. So it gives like a kind of a more natural looking light. Sometimes I use it to emulate the sun coming through the window, or just to even out if I've got a good amount of light coming through the window, I'll use it the other side just to, lighten up the other side. But this is brilliant all-rounder, and it's a nice size for the house. It's not like huge, it's gonna get in the way. And what I love about it is the way that it goes down. Now, with a lot of soft boxes, they have these annoying clips on them, whereas this is just this hook, and I just push, unhook, and it comes off like that. And then this just goes in its bag. My light goes into, lovely, cool. And then this just goes and lives up in the utility room on the top shelf.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I am going to be sharing with you my week of workouts.
So I'm back from my weekend away, celebrating my birthday. I was up at the North Norfolk coast, doing beach walks and having roasts and having a lovely old time. Before I end this vlog, I thought it would be quite nice answer a bunch of your questions. Do you have a daily routine? I would say that the beginning of my day is fairly routined in terms of going and doing a workout and walking the dogs, having breakfast. But then from then on, it's sort of like what is to be done that day can vary based on content I want to film, whether I am working with brands and there is like particular deadlines or things that I need to shoot. So in day to day, it's quite difficult to set a routine, because as much as I could be like, Mondays we do this, Tuesdays we do this, Wednesdays we do this. Like if I get a job come through and it's a fairly quick turnaround, I have to kind of have some flexibility in my week to be able to just like go film a campaign for a brand. But generally speaking, I like to keep the mornings and the evenings fairly routined in terms of like my personal wellness. But when it comes to work, it's very different. It's very different every single day. No need for details, but which social channel is the biggest earner now versus when you started? So definitely Instagram is where I make most of my money these days for sponsored posts. It's not just in terms of creating the ad, but brands like to have usage as well, so then they can post it on their social channels, or they can then use it as an ad. They often call it user generated content. So like, when you're scrolling social media and you'll get like an advert from a brand of like a person going, hello, I'm using my new supplements and my day is so much better. That would have been made by a content creator a lot of the time, or they've just made an ad to look like a content creator made it. And that is usually where a lot of the income comes from. So, there's various brands that I work with that will also request that they can then post my ad as their ad as well. YouTube is the most consistent because it's about the same every month, but it's not like the most that I make every month. And then my shop, to be honest, it's not like my full-time thing. It's a thing that I like to do because I enjoy it. But if I am really busy with the shop, or I decide to put in a lot of effort and energy into it, then I'll make some income through that. But it's not like hugely profitable because it's not my, I'm not, unlike other online shop owners, small shops, small brands, it's not like the only thing that I do. So it's just there a little extra every now and then. What sort of hours do you work a day? Are these set or do they vary? Honestly, how long is a piece of string? So it all depends. It's all dependent on like For example, on Monday, I'll do loads of hours because I'll get up super early, edit the weekly vlog. I'll go to the gym and watch the weekly vlog back and then getting a workout in, and then I'll come back and I'll do admin. I'll plan the week ahead. If there's any more content to create, then I'll create it. Tuesdays is mainly about creating organic content, and then I'll pop to the studio and do orders for my shop. Wednesdays is Wellness Wednesday, so I spend most of Wednesday doing wellnessy stuff, and in the afternoon if there's any things that I need to catch up on or do. And then Thursday, Friday, I always leave flexibility around those days for filming content for brands and stuff. But that can change whenever. Sometimes I have to go away to shoot content, so if I'm away over a weekend to do stuff, then it'll be over a weekend. The only thing is though, which sort of differs in terms of working hours and what you would class as work. So me filming daily vlogs, I'm filming my life as I'm living it, but would you class that as me working at the same time? Because I'm filming, I'm talking to camera, I'm having to consider what I'm filming, when I'm filming it, what angle. Do I place the camera in the room, exit the room, then enter it to make it look like I'm telling a story, storyboarding my life as such? So in that respect, you could say when I'm vlogging, even in the nighttime or in the morning, is that technically working? Because I'm still having to consider everything to tell the story for the vlog that I will be uploading. And even messaging people back, replying to comments, checking my inbox, would you consider that work as well? Because it's all part of the responsibility. So in that respect, a lot of hours spread across in different pockets of time throughout the day. I so desperately tried to set working hours between 9 and 5 or 6 or something. But the reality of that is it just varies so much depending on what I'm doing. Best tips for someone starting, really getting caught in the worry about others judging. Do you know what? I think times are so different, especially when I started, because when I started, I got the piss taken out of me loads. When people found my YouTube channel that I know, they're like, what are you doing? But I think because it's quite accepted and quite a saturated industry now, I don't think people would really care. If you say, I'm thinking about actually starting to vlog this, or I want to start doing content creating about this sort of thing, or whatever, I think it's quite normal. And if people take the piss out of you, they ain't really good friends or family. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit rude. Just go for it. You've just got to go with what feels good, and, try and test things, explore what it is that you actually want to be doing, figure out what you want to be doing and why you want to be doing it, and then just go for it. It's all fun, really. It's all supposed to be an enjoyable, creative, thing to do. As long as your heart's in it and you're doing it for the right reasons and you're being authentic to yourself, go ahead. Would you recommend your job to others? I would, absolutely, but I do feel like you need to have some qualities in order to not only be successful, but also not let it get to you or get upset. It's an incredibly personal thing when you do content creating, especially if what your content is about is you and your life, because at the end of the day, you are the product. You're selling yourself and your personality and the way you like to live your life. I think if you're providing more of a service, i.e. you're creating content which is informational, for example, if you're a chef or a baker and you're sharing tips on cooking or baking, or you're into fitness, so you're sharing fitness tips, etc., you can kind of detach yourself because you're offering a service on education. But obviously with social media and social media personalities, what is very important is the personality and being likable and people buying into you as well. You've got to you do have to have thick skin, and it's not always easy, because I sometimes get it. If I see I've lost followers, I get any negative comments coming my way which are about me as a person. How can you not take that personally, especially with the losing the followers thing? Because I feel because I am the product, I am the thing that they are no longer choosing to want to watch. And I get like a lot of people, I get it. Sometimes I'll unfollow someone because what they stand for and what they're doing in their life at this moment doesn't really align with like what I want to do, and doesn't make me feel good, or like I'm just not about it. And I get that, and I have to understand and be okay with the fact that some people may think that about me. But it's really horrible sometimes. You think I didn't do anything wrong, I'm just living my life. I'm living my dreams. It's really hard to not take it personally. And it's also like a constant thing. You're always switched on thinking about it, unless you like literally write in your diary, no, signing out. Because it is like all the time, constantly got to be thinking of ideas. Could I film this right now? You know what I mean? It's like an on all the time. But there are so many positives to it, like freedom, flexibility, great opportunities, being creative. Would you recommend your job to others? I don't think that everybody is capable of doing it, quite honestly, but I would recommend it because it is a laugh. Cheeky, but how much do you earn? That is cheeky. Well, I pay myself a salary every single month, and that can vary based on whether I need it more or less money. Everything that I earn in terms of when I get paid by brands and from my shop goes into one pot, like one bank account, and then I will personally withdraw like a set amount each month. In that respect, I will set like my salary like anybody else would get paid, I suppose. And then I divide that between my house bills, my savings, my tax money, put it all into different pots or savings accounts, depending on what I need it for, food shop. So I will never actually tell you how much I pay myself and stuff, because that's really personal. And you should never talk about money with people that you don't know. How do you come up with your ideas for content? Depends, really. I think it's always like trial and error. So there's obviously the stuff that I like to do. It's like there's different things. Like there's the content that I've always done that people always enjoy and somewhat expect. So it will be like vlogging my life, and then like outfit and styling videos that go on Instagram. Then there's like content that does well, and then there's like looking at kind of what other people are doing and taking some inspiration from that. And sometimes I'll just be out and about, and then an idea will spring to mind and I'll just film it. So if I don't film it there and in the moment, I'll just write it down and add it to my content idea list. But then also it's really useful to get feedback from people watching to tell me what they like to watch, because there's no point in, it's catering for your current audience, but then there's also like, how do I reach new people at the same time? What is relevant in my life right now? What do I like to talk about? What don't I like to talk about anymore? Like, what do I feel aligns with me? And I feel like actually my whole thing is capturing my life and my interests, because I am, like I said, the product. And in order to remain authentic, I've got to just follow with what I'm about. And hopefully people will relate, will find it interesting, and I'll just go with the flow. Best tips for beginners thinking about weekly vlogging. Never be afraid that things are too mundane, because people love mundane. And just be decisive on what it is exactly you want people to know about you and what you don't. And I think that in the past, and I've learned from this, is there are certain things in life that you should just probably keep to yourself, or keep for you, or keep for your friends and your family. And then there is like the stuff that, is this going to be interesting? Is this going to be useful? And does this help to kind of paint the picture of who I am as a person? Because I do think that we can overshare, and also, unfortunately, some people don't understand like nuance and like not taking things so literally. So like before, you can say things or have a joke, or you can, be talking about something, and sometimes you can say things flippantly, or sometimes you can just think about it one day but not care about it the next. Do you know what I mean? You've got to think about like, how could this be perceived? Obviously there's a line, because some people really do like to take things you've said out of context, or they can't help it. Some people just decide they don't like you and they want to. Or some people just don't get you, and that's okay because not everybody gets me. But yeah, just kind of I'm as honest as I can be, but then there's also some things that I just don't want to talk about in the moment, or maybe I will talk about it in the moment and then later in the edit think, actually, I don't know if I want to talk about that, or I said that in the moment, but I don't think that now. After some consideration, that probably wasn't, I'm not really getting across what I mean. Like but yeah, you just got to you also got to think about how your story wants to be told, like visually as well. Like you've got to consider camera angles, lighting, consistency, continuity, sort of be able to storyboard your day in your head before you do your day. Are you happy with what you're doing? Is there anything you'd want to change or improve? I am happy with what I am doing. The less I think about what I'm doing, the happier I am at what I'm doing. I would always have this internal struggle of like, who am I? Where am I here? What is my purpose? I don't have a niche, etc. And I've realised that my niche and my existence on the internet is just purely from being like this character, what it embodies, like my house, my fashion, my outlook. And I want to share that with people, whether that is for inspiration, whether that is for relatability, whether it is someone to just hang out with. What I want to change and improve is probably taking note of like when I need to switch off, and also like if I don't feel inspired or don't know what I'm doing, don't force it. Just be like, don't know what I'm doing this week. And it's all right to not post every day. The world's not going to end. People aren't going to just all of a sudden forget that you exist. You can't force creativity and you can't force ideas. They always come to you when you least expect them. How do you film things so quickly without it consuming your whole day, angles, etc.? Practice makes perfect. I just know, because I've done it for 12 years. I'm going to put the camera here. I'll film stuff at my gym or at my boot camp, and they're always like, gosh, you're just so quick at that. And I'm like, well, I know. I'll be doing a workout and I'll be like, there's a ledge there. I could put it on there. It's just constantly in my mind. That is a nice flat surface, or my tripod would fit perfectly on that. Or how about we put it up here for today? Like it's just constantly thinking about it. You just get in your set ways of doing things and practice makes perfect. What advice would you give someone just starting out, or things you wish you knew then? Do you know what? I actually don't think I can answer this question, because when I started was a long time ago, and also it was a different time as well. Like I didn't start with the intention of being a content creator or what they call an influencer, because that just simply wasn't a thing. You just uploaded videos to YouTube and then it just sort of built from there. But from what I can see, I would just say have something about you like that is interesting, that makes you stand out from everybody else, or whether it's your personality, whether it's the way you shoot things. Don't blend in. You can take inspiration from people's stuff and the way things are and like what does the best, but like you want to be different. You want to stand out. Are there harder months in terms of money income? Less ads, for example. Yeah, like for sure. Every single year there's always like, and it's the same point each year, there's a quiet spot. I always feel like the beginning of the year is always quiet in terms of like there's not much happening to actually physically do, but lots of conversations are happening. And then you're busy from like February onwards. Then for me, typically, the end of summer, that bit between the end of summer and the beginning of winter is always quite quiet. It's all right because I've been busy, do you know what I mean? So it kind of evens out throughout the year. So you'll go through a stage of being well busy, then a bit quiet, and then well busy again. So it's just, it comes in ebbs and flows. Sometimes there might be like, I'll have nothing to do for a couple of weeks in terms of like ad work, but then they'll all come at once and you're like, oh my God. Do you get recognised often, and how do you cope with it when you're having a social anxiety day? Well, I do, to be fair. Most times I go out and leave the house, someone will say something to me, like, hello, I watch your videos every day. And I'm like, hello, thank you. But I don't really get social anxiety in the moment. My social anxiety comes after. And because I'm quite used to meeting people in public like that, and I'm quite a chatty, outgoing person anyway, like I'm always so happy when people come and say hi to me. Everyone that I meet out and about is so like polite and just really kind, and they say nice things. And I most of the time I go, oh my God, thank you so much. Oh, that's so nice of you. And I don't want to say, like, I'm so grateful, but like, have you done any video editing training or self-taught? Well, I've been making videos since I can remember. I can't remember. My dad was a huge inspiration for me growing up because he used to work for TV, and I'd always told myself that I wanted to go into TV and film. So I did a film degree at uni. So I've always known how to use cameras and editing, but I was self-taught anyway. Like, I would always make things on Windows Movie Maker, like little music videos and dancing around using the webcam. So I am self-taught. But the one thing that you kind of had to adapt to and continuously learning about is all the different platforms continuously changing, and the forms of media and how to edit for each medium. You manufacture your items. This is a shop question. How can you factor in sustainability and fair costing? So I'll buy my blanks, as it were, like jumpers and T-shirts from a couple of different places. And I would say that most of the time, the product or the blank, as it were, like the jumper or the T-shirt, comes from an eco-friendly source, where if they've got like their own ethics on sustainability, like how green they are, because A, the product is really nice, and B, like, it's nice to know that it is like eco-friendly. Sometimes if I can't find exactly what I want that's eco-friendly, I will just use something else, just because the actual like item itself is what my brain was on. But in terms of like manufacturing, everything is printed or embroidered just down the road locally, and like all the finishing touches are made just down the road. So I just use a local company for that. Because it is difficult, because I want everything to be affordable and at an affordable price point. But when you go down the sustainable route, and especially when you're buying things in not huge quantities, it's not cheap and there's not much profit in it. And I'm not here for like, oh, Mrs. Moneybags making profit. But like, after you factor in the actual cost of the item, the printing, the embroidery and the finishing touches, then obviously my studio costs me money. There's my time. And then just all the hours of work that goes into packing the website, all the admin, you know, you're not left with much at the end in terms of profit. And then that profit will go, all the money will then go back will go towards more product. So it's not really something that I would deem highly profitable. As if I did it more and I put like my energy into it, then maybe it could grow into something that's more like a profitable thing. But I see my shop as just something I do because I enjoy it. And there is only one of me. And sometimes when I'm busy with all the social media stuff and the vlogging stuff, and I have big dreams for my shop, but there's only one of me, and it's like really, really hard to stretch yourself amongst all of the things. But also being a human being there's only so much in the tank, in there, like, and there's so many hours in the day. I don't want to burn out, basically, and that sometimes happens. I'd like to know, what camera gear you use for vlogging content and content creation. So the current camera that I use for vlogging, which I'm using right now, is the DJI Pocket 3, which is brilliant because it's really small and it's got an amazing stabilization on it. It's got a tiny little tripod on the bottom, and it comes with this little microphone. I use my phone mostly for reels and TikToks, and I've got this little thing that clips onto the back of it, which I can clip onto windows and stuff. And I also have a magnetic top for tripod. I also have this DJI microphone set, which I can use with all of my cameras, my phone, and also the camera that I'm currently using. Then for my DSLR, which I use for when I'm doing nice photos and when I'm shooting main channel, like other video content and all the nice shots and stuff, I will use my Canon SD Mark II. And I have two lenses. I have the 30mm Sigma. I will put a link below to all of the equipment that I use anyway, so you can see it all together. But a lot of the time also for Instagram, I'll just use my phone and Dazcam. Dazcam is the best. So if you like the way that I take my photos on Instagram, it's Dazcam, baby. All the tea on how to start a small shop, please. Well, I think the hardest part is sourcing like the product and knowing exactly what it is like you want to make. I obviously print and embroidered t-shirts and jumpers, so that's fairly simple in terms of like once you found the kind of jumpers that you like and the t-shirts, like finding out exactly what it is you want to use in the product. That's trial and error as well. So always buy samples first before you like jump straight into it. And then it's also just finding exactly what it is that you want to make. Like mine was such a mishmash in the beginning. And then as I've changed over time and my interests, and I feel like the people around me, it's kind of going more in general directions. It's also based off what actually sells well. Like sometimes you'll be really surprised by what does really well. And then you might have to then like reevaluate what it is actually that you're trying to do. But I would just say small quantities to test the water to begin with, and go to as many like pop-ups as you can and like craft thingies and get your product out there so people can see it in the flesh as well, because it's so satisfying to see people to react to your products in the flesh, because you're like, oh, people, and then see what they pick up and what they're looking at, and like the feedback, like instant feedback is so good. Is it okay to be a mixed bag vlogger until you finally stumble across your niche? Honestly, like people are so obsessed with niche. I was obsessed with niche. I recently watched a video from someone that said it doesn't matter if you don't have a niche, just have a theme. And I was like, oh yeah, that's really helpful, because I don't think I have a niche, because my niche is pretty much just how I live my life and how I style myself, my house, my dogs. You're invited along to see how I live my life and how I style stuff in my life. However, I feel like my overarching theme is a girl in her 30s that is navigating life by romanticizing her life and just living it to the best, and continuously learning about herself, self-improvement, all of that. Like, I'm making the most out of life and I'm taking in the highs and the lows as well, you know? That's my theme. It's just, hopefully it's relatable. Hopefully it might be somewhat inspirational. But yeah, so niche, capiche, the niche. The niches are good in terms of giving someone, like directing people, but equally it can be restrictive. Way better to either have a style or a theme. How did you make it as a content creator? I'm just gonna go and say it was a series of events that happened by accident. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I did a few hair dye videos, which went mental on YouTube. And then people were like, you're cool, make more videos. I was like, okay, I will. And it just fucking went mental. How long did it take for it to become a viable business that you could earn a full living from? I think it was like 3 years before I went full time. And you have to think of the context as well. Like, I had really great ad revenue back then because I got more views on YouTube more consistently. I just started getting sponsorship deals and I just got signed to a management. That happened fairly quickly in terms of like, I got that brand deal and then I got signed onto a management. But also, contextually, I was living with my band. My rent was like £250 a month, you know. So I was earning, my outgoings were way less because I didn't have a mortgage and stuff. So even though I wasn't earning as much, I was able to afford to live because there wasn't that much responsibility there. So it was about 3 years to go full time. Have you ever been made fun of / people being angry at you for vlogging in public? No one's ever been angry at me in public. I've definitely been stared at a lot, but no one's really made fun of me. Maybe a couple of times someone said the odd comment, but I just ignore them. I'm like, dumb fucking job, bitch. How much time do you spend editing and posting? I don't know. Again, that's a piece of string. Depends on how much there is that week. Weekly vlogs take me roughly about 3 or 4 hours to edit. Reels can be anything from 10 minutes to an hour, depending on whether they need narration or how much footage there is. Sometimes, you know, it's really fucking annoying. The reels that take the less time to edit usually are the ones that do the best. So if I'm doing something and I'm just like, with a bit of text on it, I'm chatting shit and it took me 5 minutes to edit it. Those did the best. How do you disconnect when your work is mostly online? I have to literally hide my phone in put it in another room, pick up something like my crochet hook, force myself, because it's so tempting to either scroll on my phone, check back comments, maybe check the odd email. This constant feeling of I should probably be filming this. You have to hide it away. It's very, very difficult. So that is it. It's getting dark. It's just dropped in darkness and lightness. It's just lightness has just dropped. I hope this video was somewhat interesting and insightful into my life, my working life. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.